Happy Monday, everybody. I am tired today. I have been researching all morning, a little bit last night as well. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm very tired. So, truly, I usually say I try not to make these lives. Sometimes when I say I don't want the live to be that long, I typically always go over. I'm really going to try to keep this to a minimum, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to short you on the substance or the information that I share in this video. Hit the like button on your way in if you do not mind. Once again, link is in the description to the Patreon. Link is in the description to the merch store. Link is also in the description to my social media. Follow me on Instagram so that I can have other ways to connect with you all outside of YouTube. I am rocking for the first time. Buy one lie, get the rest free. Government special. Again, link to the merch store is in the description. For those of you that don't know, the Super Bowl happened last night. Another way that I've been taught to say the Super Bowl is the superb owl. If you know, you know. But if you take the word Super Bowl, which what the heck is a Super Bowl to begin with, right? A Super Bowl. Oh, it's because they're in a dome and they're in the bottom of a bowl. Is it? If you take the word Super Bowl and you separate it, starting with the B and not starting with the R, instead of saying Super Bowl, it will say superb owl. And that will make more sense once I do my Bad Bunny breakdown. Or I should say my halftime breakdown, because I've already broken down Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is the individual who performed for the halftime show yesterday. A lot of people had a lot of backlash about it leading up to the Super Bowl, and even while the Super Bowl was taking place. Supposedly, it was highly anticipated that a lot of people were going to tune out because Bad Bunny was performing, and he has been critical of Trump, so a lot of conservatives had an issue with that. But need I remind people, Puerto Rico is a part of America. My understanding is that is where Bad Bunny was born. But the part that I didn't understand, though, is they did the entire performance in Spanish. It beats me, don't understand it, but I digress. We'll get into that, because this is by no means, in no way, defending Mr. Bad Bunny at all. Because, as I said in my breakdown, Bad Bunny, I believe, is a Freemason, and I also believe that he is an occultist. I believe he's a high-level Luciferian. And I believe that I've proven that already in my breakdown video on Bad Bunny. But we're going to break down his halftime show performance yesterday, as I promised you all before the Super Bowl that I would do, because I already looked forward and anticipated that he would do. And from the very down to his outfit, when I immediately saw him, I was like, okay, we're going to have to do a breakdown on him. But anyways, for those of you that don't know, as an alternative, there was another halftime show that took place instead of the NFL's halftime show, and that would be none other than, you guessed it, Turning Point USA. TPUSA presents the All-American Halftime Show, and it streamed 18 hours ago, and it's currently sitting at 20 million views. Except we kind of have a problem with this number. The problem that we have with this number is that 20 million that you see isn't organic. Allegedly, it's not organic. And in order to prove that, or to drive that point home, before we actually get into the performances, let's go over to our friend Milo, and let's see what he exposed. He says, the one thing you can't fake on YouTube is comments. And if you had 5 million live viewers, you would expect the view count to be something like 15 million as soon as it finishes, right? After processing, maybe 60 million. Dear, oh dear. That's very well said. I would argue that it would probably be higher than 15 million. I would argue if you have 5 million concurrent live viewers, or simultaneously watching at the same time, the moment that video, just from a content creator's perspective that primarily operate on YouTube, I would know this. I would imagine that if the live, it also depends on how long you were going. And let's see, I believe they went for like an hour and a half. An hour and a half is more than enough time. I would imagine the moment this is done, TPUSA probably should have had, honestly, about 15 million to 25 million the moment the video ended. So the fact that it's only sitting at 20 million views right now, and we are 18 hours later, I think further drops home the point that there is a very high and likely chance that they were botting. I believe that TPUSA were faking their streams. I believe Dan Bongino did the same thing as well on Rumble. But let's see what it says here. TPUSA presents the All-American Halftime Show. It says it's showing 5,000 views in 1 hour, yet you have 667,000 likes. Obviously, something's wrong here. It shows here the people that headlined this halftime show was Kid Rock, Brantley Gilbert, Lee Bryce, and Gabby Barrett. I would be more than happy to show you all the video, but I'm going to get flagged because it's copyright music that's playing. So before we even get to the person that headlined it, who's the headliner for the show, let's first show Mr. Brantley Gilbert, because the pictures I'm about to show you are directly taken from my phone. I watched the show and I was like, interesting. I mean, clearly these people are very talented, but this is on a network. I want to remind people, I believe this was on TPN or something like that. This is a Christian network. And they had Brantley Gilbert performing, where he was talking about in his music, running from the cops. He was talking about drinking in his music. Now, I'm not here to judge or anything. I'm far from perfect, but the point that I'm making is you're on a Christian network representing on behalf of Turning Point USA. They're hosting you, or they're sponsoring the program. People who are tuning in should be expecting to see something to reflect that. But instead, this is what they got. And this is, again, this is a direct screenshot from my phone. What's with the hand signs, bro? As he stood there in his expensive Louis Vuitton jacket. What's with the hand signs, bro? All right. Now, what you're looking at here is what they call, and I'm going to, just to be on the safe side and the responsible side, I'm going to say that this appears. I'm not going to say anything's definite. Allegedly, this appears to be the index and the pinky extended with his left hand there. I can't quite tell, and I couldn't quite tell you from the video what his right hand was doing, but I'd like to assume that they were doing the same thing. And if so, it appears to me that he's doing what they call the sign of the horns. Anton LaVey, who is the founder of the Church of Satan, has publicly many times broken down what these different hand signs mean. This is called the sign of the horns, or devil horns. All right. Some people say we're too simplistic. We don't have a high enough IQ to understand that these hand signs could mean different things. But that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you're so gullible to just believe anything so that they can display these things right in your face. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, here's another one. I screenshotted them. Something else I noticed was that his band was wearing all black, which is a very common thing you see. They wear all black typically. Sorry. Black is one of the safe colors. I'm not accusing these people of being in the occult, but if you've never seen, let me make myself a little bigger when I say this part. If you've never seen a documentary series called "They Sold Their Soul for Rock and Roll," it's like a 4-hour series or something crazy. It's one of the greatest breakdowns I've ever seen. If you even mildly enjoy my content on this channel, whether it's TPUSA related, whether it's the music industry or whatever, the Martin Luther King, civil rights, exposing those type of deals, I think you will absolutely love and cherish. They sold their soul for rock and roll, breaking down the Beatles, people like what's his name? It's escaping me. I think Elvis was even thrown in there. But yeah, breaking down some of the biggest bands, right? Anyway, so the hand sign you're seeing here is what they would typically tell you, the same way they psyoped us and told us that that's what Erika Kirk was doing when she hugged Donald Trump at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. It stands for I love you. You don't understand. It means I love you. Well, once again, Anton LaVey, only the founder of the Church of Satan, has explicitly explained to us multiple times on camera, you all can look this up, that 3 fingers extended also means to put a pox on someone, right? It's like putting a curse on someone. I'm not saying that that's what they're necessarily doing, but you have to just be aware and weary of them trying to tell you that it means other things and that every time you see it, that's the only meaning that it can have. No, there are other meanings to some of these things. And according to Anton LaVey, someone that was closely affiliated with the one and only Aleister Crowley, this means to put a pox on someone, right? Or another way to put it is to put a spell on someone. All right. I believe I have one more. And there's one more. You're going to have to squint and zoom in a little bit. He did these hand signs the entire performance. Once again, regardless of what any of you all think, remember, this is a Christian network. Why are we walking around with flames coming out of the ground, throwing up devil horns, throwing up just to give you the benefit of the doubt, the I love you sign? What is the purpose of this? What benefit does this serve? Right? These aren't Christian records. I don't think the songs were like horrible, so to speak, but I felt like it was the entire performance was a Ford commercial. I don't hate Ford commercials. Fords are cool, but is it what people would expect to see when they come to a halftime show that's being hosted on a Christian network, being sponsored by Turning Point USA? No. Well, another person who was the actual headline was Kid Rock. A lot of people gave this a lot of backlash because as a counter reaction to Bad Bunny, because he's not what America represents, he's openly secular, etc., you decided to go with Kid Rock. Kid Rock. The very first song that Kid Rock did had these lyrics here. And this is for the questions that don't have any answers. The midnight glancers and the topless dancers. This is what he performed at the halftime show. The gander freaks, cars packed with speakers. The G's with the 40s and the chicks with beepers. The northern lights and the southern comfort. And it don't even matter if their veins are punctured. All the crackheads, the critics, the cynics, and all my heroes in the methadone clinics. All you bastards at the IRS, for the crooked cops and the cluttered desk, for the shots of Jack and the caps of meth. Half pints of love and the fifth of stress for the hookers all tricking out in Hollywood. And for my hoods of the world misunderstood, I said it's all good. And it's all in fun. Now get in the pit and try to love someone. For the time bombs ticking and the heads that hang. All the gangs getting money in the heads they bang bang. Wild Mustangs, the porno flicks. All my homies in the county in cell block 6. The grits when there ain't enough eggs to cook, and the DB Cooper and the money he took. You can look for answers, but that ain't fun. Now get in the pit and try to love someone. Okay. But it gets better because even though I'm sure most of you all know this already, Mr. Kid Rock, who I believe has both dabbled in rap and rock. Didi reading Kid Rock's lyrics is hilarious. Okay. So yeah, I haven't listened to a lot of his music. I am familiar with his Kid Rock and Lil Wayne song because when I was in high school, it's a song called Let It Rock. I love that song. I rapped that song a lot when I was in high school. But anyways, I'm going to show you all what many of you all already know about Mr. Kid Rock. But for those, there's going to be a small percentage of you all that don't know this about him. So this is for you all that don't know. But before I take you there, let's read this. It says a Kid Rock concert should be out of place on a Christian channel. Here's why it wasn't. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's see what they're going to say here. Now, would you look at that? Check out his hand sign as well. But I'm guessing he probably means that he loves us. He's not looking at the crowd. He's screaming in the air, but this means I love you. Absolutely. Sure. That's exactly what he means by making the same hand sign. Sure. Got you. Trinity Broadcasting Network, or TBN, which bills itself as the world's largest Christian television network, was among the select media outlets betting that audience would leave NBC's official Super Bowl 60 halftime show on Sunday featuring King of Latin Trap Bad Bunny and tune in to see rap rocker turned country rocker Kid Rock headline what Turning Point USA is representing as America's halftime show. All right. So let's skip down here a little bit. At the same time, Kid Rock's 1997 song that appears to celebrate statutory grape, right? And his public comments endorsing the legalization of heroin and cocaine are among the things that make him a counterintuitive choice for TPUSA's aim and an equally tough choice for a Christian television station that aims to be a quote-unquote global messenger of God's love. So let's go over to Mr. Kid Rock's song. I believe the song is called Cool Daddy Cool. Yep. So let's make that a little bigger. Let's go and read some of these lyrics. Cool Daddy Cool. Cool Daddy Cool. See me cruising in my caddy. HOEs, they like to call me daddy. Cool when I'm styling. Just rolling on the island. Now, just in case I pack heat, keep a case of brew in my back seat. Got a pocket full of cash. Got a fatty in my ashtray. Okay. But let's go down here to the problem that to the verses that are most problematic. So it says here, this verse is Kid Rock, Thornetta Davis, Joe C, Kid Rock, and okay, yes, it's those three together. Kid Rock, Thornetta Davis, and Joe C. It says, now some people say my mind's blown. I'm cooling like a snow cone. On my cell phone, I'm paid, G. Can't call me, just page me. Young ladies, I like them underage, see? Some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. My story ain't that complex. 240s and a Rolex. I rip, I rock, I roll, G. I trim my hair with the Flowbee. Got soul, G, like Al Green. Co-cooling like the A-Team. From Maine to San Francisco, I'm shooting like a pistol. I'm so slick, I'm Crisco. Daddy likes to disco. I like him underage. Now, the irony in this is that Miss Erika Kirk, in our last video, we literally just discussed with Erika her inappropriate relationship with the 15-year-old girl. If you haven't seen the video, I would highly encourage you to go and check out our last live from a couple of days ago. Once again, and we got all this coming out with the Epstein files and its affiliation with Trump. We got Sasha Riley, the veteran, the war veteran, accusing Trump of working in conjunction with Epstein, coming on record and stating this. They're affiliated with Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk connected with Trump and Epstein through Miss USA. We've already broken down on Patreon what the modeling industry is actually about, right? So here we have you all sponsoring or hosting a halftime show that's supposed to be a better alternative, but the person you choose to headline has lyrics. It's one thing to feel this way. It's one thing to say this, but you loved it and you felt this way so much that you put it in a record and you did it. And the reason why I believe him even more is because he did it in the 90s when things weren't as politically correct. Not that that was even accepted to like underage people at the time, but it's not like saying that in 2025, 2020, right? That was almost like a whole different world 30 years ago, you know? But it gets worse because Kid Rock also got a lot of backlash for what he said. I believe this was on maybe SNL, or I think this was SNL. Check out what Kid Rock said.
Twins. Why is every guy in America waiting for these chicks to turn 18? I mean, you know what I say? There's grass on the field. Play ball! The Olsen twins. Why is every guy in America waiting for these chicks to turn 18? I mean, you know what I say? There's grass on the field. Play ball!
I would even consider myself as a person who has some dark humor. This is always off limits to me. You don't play like that when it comes to children, right? These people have like these girls have a dad, a mom. Why would you say that? This person, it's no different from them hosting Nicki Minaj. Now, if these people have really changed their ways, anybody can change their ways. Anybody can be forgiven, but these people are still a part of that world. Nicki Minaj is still a part of that world, right? Regardless of what she want to expose or whatever, Nicki Minaj took the oath. She took the same oath as the rest of these people. Turning Point USA is hosting people like this guy. Speaking of the Olsen twins, by the way, do you all remember this guy, Bob Saget? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember the guy who played the father. I believe his name was Danny on the show Full House. Do you all remember that? Yeah. Well, I don't know if you all know this, but Bob Saget is a PDF file. And not only that, he's admitted it. And it's relevant because we're talking about the Olsen twins, who I believe are victims, by the way. I do believe they're victims of multiple things. Let me play you all a mesh clip that I put together about Bob Saget. Check this out.
You know, the whole time Bob and I were doing Full House, he was also hosting America's Funniest Home Videos. What a tough gig that must have been, huh? His entire job consisted of saying, "Take a look at this," which is what he used to say to Mary-Kate Olsen in her dressing room. Bob's last HBO special was called That Ain't Right. Should have been called That Ain't Watchable.
We picked Bob Saget, who raped and killed the girl in 1990.
There's literally nothing funny about that. There's literally nothing funny about that. And again, I would consider myself as somebody of dark humor. That's not even funny, though.
It's not true that Bob Saget raped and killed the girl in 1990.
Half an hour a week, Full House kept pedophiles off the street. In fact, 3 of them were on the show.
You didn't just kill sitcoms, you raped them and left them for dead in a ditch.
Instead of Ashley and Mary Kate, for Michelle, As a 3-year-old kid, they gave me a doll to talk to for rehearsal, a rubber doll, not even plastic, like a test dummy. Like,
now, I want to be clear with this part. This is not a joke. What he's about to say, this is not humor. This is not dark humor. This is not sick humor. This isn't sarcasm. This isn't hyperbole. He's being 100% serious. He's about to tell you all what he was doing.
it looked like a porn doll. It was just missing the stuff.
Sure.
You know, all those things. You ever done that? You ever been with one of those things?
Well, not one that I would hold that would mimic a 4-year-old, but yeah.
And then I just grabbed it, you know, and I just threw it on the bed, and I just started pretending, you know, that I was.
My God.
But it doesn't stop there. It gets worse.
House. You're working at CBS, I believe, doing the morning show.
His book is called Dirty Daddy. Do you all see that in the bottom left corner? Remember, the guy who's headlining the Turning Point USA halftime show, Kid Rock, the name of his song where he spoke about these same things was called Cool Daddy Cool. Bob Saget has a book titled Dirty Daddy, where he is exposing all the quote-unquote inappropriate acts. Let's take a listen to what he said.
At CBS, I believe, doing the morning show.
Yes.
They decide that you should part ways, and something happens. What goes on?
A friend of mine, my manager, at the time, Brad Gray, told me that Jeff Franklin, who produced Full House, wanted me to still play Danny Tanner. And they had another person cast in it, but they recast it, which is I have a little guilt still for. And I flew back to LA, which was good because at the time I had a wife and a child, so I needed a job. And Full House was something that just happened. And we did this pilot, and it got picked up by ABC.
Did you expect the success that you found with Full House?
No, I knew it was something special. I committed to it 100%. I'm an actor, so I went in and did it and loved the kids as much as I could. At the time, I had a 1-year-old, and the youngest person on the show was 1 year old. And the other kids, Jody was 4, and Candace Cameron Bure was 9 when it started. So I kind of lived that life and had my own 3 daughters. By the time Full House had ended, I had 3 daughters.
So is there a room on the set where you would go in order to be the filthy mouth individual? Because, of course, we can't say most of the words that are in this book, but you were able to deal with it on the set where that was also not allowed.
I was a bit manic on the set, and I was also, even when there's kids, like I'm doing book signings, I'm doing one at the 92nd Street Y tonight, and it's difficult if there's kids there. I do stop myself because I am a dad. It's a conflicted thing. So I was on good behavior, but sometimes I did some inappropriate acts.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the training, some of the people that you've met who have encouraged you, some of the...
Bob Saget just told this reporter or this interviewer that I did inappropriate acts when I was on it. Even when I was around children, I had to contain myself. The guy completely glosses over, doesn't push him, doesn't get him to clarify. They're normalizing this behavior. How do you hear a grown man say that and you don't push him on this?
It's some inappropriate thing. So I was on good behavior, but sometimes I did some inappropriate acts.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the training, some of the people that you've met who have encouraged you, some of the people who you have admired. Richard Pryor, critical condition.
That's absolutely insane. And I want to make sure I make this clear. Bob Saget has said multiple times, that the character Danny that he played on Full House, and I know we've kind of went off on a little tangent here, but this is important because this is going to tie to the Olsen twins. Why what's his name, Kid Rock would be even so comfortable to say this about the Olsen twins is because things like this set the precedent, right? Bob Saget has said multiple times that his character on Full House was the exact polar opposite of how he was in real life. He admitted that, which goes to show you that you just can't trust people just because they seem like good people, right? But it gets worse. This is an episode. This is and this is the last thing I'll say about Bob Saget, but I have to show you all this. This is a clip from the Full House show.
To eat, maybe take a nap, and you'll feel all better. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Bye-bye. Derek's taking it pretty hard, huh? Well, I don't know about that, but his father sure is a mess. Well, I hope Michelle's feeling a little better. Oh, man, it's all my fault. Put so much pressure on her, she didn't know whether she was coming or going. When she started, she was just a happy-go-lucky kid. And then I got a hold of her, and I worked her, and I drilled her, until there was nothing left but just an overworked, over-drilled little hunk of overworked, over-drilled. Danny, come. Don't get your shorts in a knot. Joey, I'm upset. No, I mean, your shorts are really in a knot.
Are you kidding me? You have to understand that these people are strangers. The Mary-Kate and Ashley was being held in these people's laps. They were kissing these kids on the cheeks and everything on the show. That's why I went so much into details, because again, Kid Rock is not joking when he say these when he's saying these things. All right? Which, by the way, I thought it was interesting. I believe her name is Caroline. Is it Levitt? Levitt, the spokesperson for the Trump administration. She was actually asked about if Trump would prefer to watch Bad Bunny or to watch Turning Point USA halftime show Kid Rock. And I want you all to listen to what she said.
Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party. After the first two quarters, are the TVs going to be on the halftime show with Bad Bunny or the halftime show with Kid Rock?
I think the president would much prefer a Kid Rock performance over Bad Bunny. I must say that. Jennifer. On the nuclear.
Well, we actually know that that's not true. Donald Trump is seen on camera. Here, let me actually see if I can find this. I'm going to find it actually. Donald Trump is actually seen on camera not watching that version. Oh, I'll show you. Hold on. Boom. Let me share my screen so that I can show you all. That is Donald Trump. And that is the halftime show for the NFL. And that is the Freemasonic puppet, Bad Bunny. This is also important, though, because I want you all to notice something about Caroline Levitt. Let me put her back up on the
Mar-a-Lago Super Bowl party.
If you all notice in this clip, Caroline is actually not wearing her cross. She is a supposed Christian. I believe that she's an actor, just like the rest of these people. But let's just entertain the theory that this woman is really a Christian. What you've noticed with her is whenever she lies on behalf of the Trump administration, she has notoriously taken off her cross. It's almost as if she's embarrassed to do this sort of lying or gaslighting to the American people while wearing her cross. She did this when the Epstein files first were quote unquote released, and a lot of people gave the Trump administration a lot of backlash because of the quote unquote phase one. Well, here she is again, not wearing the necklace. I thought that was super interesting. But something I wanted to do a little further is I want to go over here and give a little bit of love to you all that did not fall for the psyop, because a lot of you all may have heard this before, but this is very important. The elites, it's them versus us. It's not us versus each other. I can say it. Most people are not going to believe it or do anything about it, but it's the truth. They're dividing us, and doing something like this is just causing more division, in my opinion.
Happy Valentine's.
And again, I can't play the audio, so I'm going to keep it silent. But let's just go through this a little bit, and then I'm going to read some of the comments under this video. So first mistake was they started this off. They got all these people up here for a Christian network, and it says at the bottom, change the culture on your campus. This is, I mean, it's hilarious. The video is an hour and 16 minutes long, but the first 40 minutes, there's nothing. Here, let me make this bigger. This is 41 minutes and it just started. So like I said, most of the people that were performing were wearing all black. But let me show you all something at the very beginning when the guy was standing at the front. Jack Posobiec or Posobiec, however you say his name, Posobiec. And they claimed that we at one point he said we are Charlie Kirk. Once again, that is a Marxist, ungodly term to be using, stating that you are or multiple people are one human being when it's just not the case. That's promoting something that's not biblical. But I also noted that this person here stood right in the center of these three rows of lights, which had 6. Each of these had 6 in total in each row. Oh, this would be so much better if I could play it because we can react to his lyrics. Yeah, this is our guy, Brantley Gilbert. And he's wearing all black as well. People who typically wear all black are Saturn worshipers. A lot of these people, I don't know if these people are in particular, but usually a lot of the people in the music industry, they worship Saturn. Yes, you heard me correctly. The planet Saturn. Many of them are Saturn worshipers. And there's Kid Rock. This is almost like, look at his hand, everybody. At this point, it's almost like an episode of South Park. As you notice that he's wearing white and black. Right? He has white and black up top. And look at the people that's behind him performing. They're in all black as well. Just like the other ones were before. There's nothing about this nothing about this screams Christian. Follow God. Open your Bible. Which, by the way, for anybody that wants to respond and say, well, it's a halftime show. This was supposed to be about America. Well, if you are on a Christian network and you're Turning Point USA and that's your primary goal is to get young people on a quote-unquote conservative path for Jesus, you do understand that Jesus doesn't have a political affiliation. And yes, that's important. Because your number one priority should not be pushing a political aisle. You should be pushing Jesus Christ. None of these people are pushing that message in their music. Yeah, I understand it would be a lot better. Now look at the people in the crowd. Did you all see that? Here, let's go back just a little bit. I want you to watch these fingers. Look at the people in the crowd. Hopefully we'll catch it here in the... Oh, shoot. Let's watch that back. Let me see if I can catch it. People in the crowd were throwing up the rock horns just like he was. We see he is there. That's pretty obvious. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Y'all see the devil horns, the rock horns, whatever you want to call them, it's all the same. Are you all able to see that right there in your face? Yeah. This is embarrassing, man. Where was We Are Charlie Kirk? This country is so separated that we have two different halftime shows going on. God help us. Yeah, see, somebody said that we actually live in a South Park episode. I agree. I thought Nicki Minaj was about to bring the super bass. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, look what this person says. After reading these comments, after reading some comments, I have something to say. Do y'all understand that it doesn't matter what side you're on, right, left, or in the middle? It doesn't matter. They are playing us all. They want us divided. They think we are stupid. It's the government against all of us. They don't care about us and they never will. We as Americans need to stick together and love each other no matter what political party we belong to. Let's show the government that they can't control us any longer. Let's be united again, we the people. Jesus loves all of us. All of you. Yeah. Yeah. America is the land of the free. That's how they started off. They said America is the land of the free because of the brave. America is the land of the free Masons. Yeah. This was a disaster, bro. It just was. Some of the most painful things, the reason why I was going through the comments just then is that some of the most painful things sometimes is to see people in the comment section who don't get it, who don't understand. Because a lot of us may be into this for so long that we just assume that other people can see it that way. They don't. I know people who were super excited for the Bad Bunny halftime show and didn't catch half the things that was taking place right there in people's faces. But like I said, I do have a Bad Bunny video that I'm going to work on here in the next hour or so. And I may not have it done by today. If so, I'll get it out by today. But I probably won't have it done until tomorrow. but I'll try my best to have it out later today. There was a lot going on with the Bad Bunny episode. I mean, halftime show. Somebody said that's a bar, Didi. No, it's not just a bar. It's actually true. America is the land of the Freemasons. Here, let me show it. I'll show it to you. Watch this. I think it's land of the free and accepted Masons. Hold on, I'll show you. The country was literally founded by Freemasons, and I'll prove it to you. Let's see. See if I can get this pulled up for you. And they know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about this. Or correction, they know exactly what they're saying when they say land of the free. The average American don't know. And they know that. I'm so confused here. Am I at my limit? Maybe so. Here, let me see. Okay. Of course. Nothing comes easy. Let's see this. Okay. Maybe this will work. There we go. So it says here the constitutes of the Freemasons, right? It says continuing the Hillary charges regulations or history charges regulations of the most ancient and right worshipful fraternity for the youth of the lodges. Yep. There's one more though. There's one more that I'm missing. I need to show it to you. There's like a book. See if we can get that pulled up. Why is this so hard to find? This is very easy to find usually. Huh. That's very interesting. It's like it's been scraped or something. I don't know. I don't know. That is very odd, though. The last thing I'll try is that I'll look to see if I have it in my files. I guess not. Okay, I guess not. Oh, well. That's fine. Okay. All right, y'all. So this is the guy right here, Mr. Bad Money. Oops, I'm sorry. Wrong picture. Did I put that up there? This is the guy I'll be doing a video on next. I'll be covering his halftime show. I'll put the link in the description to the breakdown I did on Bad Bunny like a couple of months ago. You all want to go and check that out. I promise you want to go and check that out. You want to know who these people are putting in front of your kids. You want to know who these people are putting in front of you. Even if you don't know the artist, if you want to keep yourself up to date with who these people are, what they stand for, what they represent, I'll put the link in the description. All right. Anyways, I'm wasting hot breath. Let's get to the comments. Didi, GAGA was wearing blue coat welcoming who? Oh, Lady Gaga, you're talking about the halftime show. We'll get there. Lady Gaga was also on the halftime performance show with Bad Bunny. And yes, Lady Gaga is another very high-level occultist, very open about it, right there in people's faces. People don't care. People don't see it. People really believe that Bad Bunny is a Catholic. Okay. Thank you so much, by the way, for the $2 super chat, Renee. High Desert Biker or High Desert Biker. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Did you see how Erika Kirk groomed that 15-year-old? Yes. I covered it in my last video. And that's part of why it's relevant that we covered this, because it was only fitting that they had a person like Kid Rock to headline this show, their halftime show, because all the other accusations of everybody affiliated with TPUSA. Hey, yo, Diddy got a podcast. I may have missed it, bro, but any thoughts on why X pulled out of the TPUSA halftime alternate? Thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm actually not familiar with that. I didn't know. So that's actually news to me. I'm not sure. That is something curious, though, to look into. Song Hell is for Children makes a lot of sense now. Yep. Exactly. Contentious podcast. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Diddy. Everything we're told about Charlie and Erika relationship is not true. The lives seem to be created. If he faked it, it would be to free himself of these awful people around him. Yeah. Similar to what I was saying too. I agree. I agree that there's more scripts at play here than people are willing to realize. And I was telling you all, part of that script is going to include content creators. There have been content creators placed out here to lead some of you astray with this narrative. So just be mindful with who you listen to. Yeah. But yeah, man. All right. So lots of Christian ones too. I agree. I think Officer Tatum is one of them. I need to do a video on Officer Tatum too. I got to break down a debate he just did on Piers Morgan. But that's a video for another day. All right, y'all. Hop in the comment section. Give me your thoughts. Let me know if you've seen it. Did you go and watch the halftime show for TPUSA? What are your thoughts? Did I miss anything? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? I thought it was a mess. The last thing I'll say is, what's his name? Kid Rock wasn't even properly lip singing the songs. It was just tacky. It was ghetto. Outside of the fact that it wasn't Christian, you know. So y'all in the comment section, give me your thoughts, man. I'm Demetrius. I go by Diddy. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate of UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that is better than yours. Y'all just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. All right. No such thing
we do better than that. Talk to me. Now let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours.
You're worse than the rich white people who are, or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you?
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.